Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into what is, for many design students, the biggest challenge of their school career, the major design project. And we're going to look at it a little differently. Think of it as your own personal hero's journey.
So let's get right into it by busting the biggest myth about your major design project, your MDP, right? The syllabus, it says individual project, and that can sound super lonely, like it's all on you. But here's the secret, the absolute key to crushing it. You are not supposed to do this alone.
So, since this is an epic quest, we need a map. And here's ours for today. We'll talk about your project, your role as the hero or design lead, the 3 master plans you'll need, how to stay on track when things go sideways, and what success actually looks like at the end.
Okay, so section 1, your epic project. Yeah, on paper, the MDP is an individual project. But the real key to success is knowing you're not supposed to be a hermit in a workshop. I mean, think about it. No real-world design project ever gets done by just one person. They all have a team. Your MDP is exactly the same. Your job is to build that team.
And this is where your mindset has to shift. You're not just the student, you are the design lead. You're the manager, the director, you're the one calling the shots. And what do great leaders do? They build an amazing team of experts to call on. We're talking about your teacher, of course, but also subject matter specialists, maybe even your stakeholders. They are all part of your crew on this quest.
All right, so if you're the design lead, where do you start? Well, before any great quest, the hero has to know their own strengths, right? It's that classic know thyself advice. Before you can even think about managing this huge project, you have to manage you. And that means getting really honest about what you're good at and, just as importantly, where you're going to need some backup.
And the first tool in your arsenal for this quest? It's a SWOT analysis. Now, I know you've probably heard of this before, but it is a classic for a reason. It is such a powerful way to map out everything, not just your personal skills, but all those outside forces that could either help you or, totally derail your project. And here's how you map it out. It's super simple, but so effective. Your strengths and weaknesses, that's all internal. That's about you. But the real magic isn't just listing them. The pro move is to ask, okay, how can my strengths cover for my weaknesses? Or how can I use this awesome opportunity, like access to a new 3D printer, to fight off a threat like the rising cost of materials? See? It stops being a boring list and becomes your first real strategic plan.
Okay, so you know yourself, you've scouted the terrain, now it's time to draw the map. This is where we get into your 3 master plans. And I want you to think of these as your map and compass for the whole journey. Super important, these are not documents you just fill out and forget. No way. They are living, breathing tools that are going to guide every single decision you make.
Honestly, your entire project management strategy comes down to just 3 simple questions. What do I need to do? When am I going to do it? And how much is this whole thing going to cost? That's it. What, when, and how much. These are the building blocks for your action, time, and finance plans. If you can nail these, you are so far ahead of the game.
So, first up, the action plan. This is your what. Its whole purpose is to take that massive, terrifying mountain called my major design project and break it down into a bunch of small, totally achievable hills. You want to know a great pro tip? Work backwards. Seriously, start with your final deadline and plan backwards from there. What needs to be done the week before? The month before that? It's a foolproof way to make sure you don't miss a single crucial step.
All right, next up is the time plan. This is your when. And let's be real, time is the one resource you absolutely cannot get more of on this quest. Once it's gone, it's gone. So managing it well isn't just a good idea, it's everything. And to do that, we're going to use a really cool visual tool called a Gantt chart to map everything out. And this is why Gantt charts are so brilliant. They make time something you can actually see. You can instantly spot which tasks you can do at the same time. Like maybe you can do research while you're generating initial ideas. And more importantly, you can see which tasks depend on others. Like you literally can't buy materials until you've finalized your design. Having that visual clarity, honestly, it's a total game changer for keeping your project on track. And last but not least, the finance plan, the how much. Okay, this is where so many people trip up. Saying something like, oh, my budget is $500 and my parents will cover it, that is not a plan. That's a wish. A real finance plan is built on actual research, careful estimates, and then tracking every single penny. And using a structured table like this is what transforms your finance plan from just a list of expenses into a seriously powerful management tool. You project what you think it'll cost, then you track what it actually costs.
But that last column, reason for difference, that is pure gold. That's where you get to show off. Did you find a cheaper supplier? Did you negotiate a better deal? This column tells the story of how you were an active manager of your money, not just someone who spent it.
Okay, let's talk reality. No quest ever goes perfectly according to the map, ever. Machines will break, materials will be out of stock, you'll get a brilliant project-changing idea halfway through. And here's the thing, a top-tier project isn't one where nothing went wrong. It's one that shows how you navigated those problems, how you made smart, strategic calls when the plan had to change.
And this is such a key insight. That gap between what you proposed and what actually happened, that's not failure. That is your opportunity to prove you're a leader. So don't just write down, machine broke, lost 3 weeks. No. Frame it as a strategic pivot. Explain why you made a different choice. Something like, the main machine was broken, so I used that downtime to perfect my CAD model, which ended up saving me 2 full days during the final assembly. See the difference? That's not a problem. That's a manager making a brilliant call.
Now, with all these little changes and pivots happening, it can be easy to lose sight of the big picture. That's why you need to set 2 or 3 major milestones. Think of these as your lighthouses in the storm. They are the big, non-negotiable deadlines for major chunks of the project. They keep you heading in the right direction, and man, does it feel good when you hit one.
So we come to the end of the journey. After all that planning, all that hard work, all that adapting on the fly, what does success actually look like? What's the treasure you're fighting for at the end of this quest? I'll tell you this, it is so much more than just a cool finished product.
Real, true success stands on these 3 pillars. 1, you delivered on time. 2, you came in on budget. That's you proving you're a great manager. But the third one is the whole point of the quest. Your project has to be a high-quality, innovative solution that actually solves the problem you set out to fix. If you're missing one of these, it's just not a complete victory.
Because in the end, your management folio, it isn't just a binder full of paperwork. It's the logbook of your journey. It's the story of your choices, your foresight, and your ability to adapt. It's the proof that you aren't just a designer. You are a capable, resourceful, and successful design lead. So the only question left is, what story will yours tell?